Hi there, in this video tutorial, we're going to step through the process of how you can use the annotation and markup tools that are built into the new line panel so you can mark up and annotate over the top of a lot of the frequently used applications such as Google Drive, Google Docs, PowerPoint, slideshows, PDF files, really anything that's displayed on your computer to the board, you'll be able to mark up and annotate. So, in order to turn on the annotation functionality, you will do that through the floating toolbar, which you have an icon to the left as well as the right-hand side here, that little white button. When you select that button, it opens up the full menu of different applications, and directly under the home button, there's a little piece of paper with a pen next to it. So you'll go ahead and select that option, and it'll turn on the annotation toolbar down here at the bottom. Before we jump in to actually start going into the different pens and the erasers and all those fun things, I just want to talk about a few of the default settings that you might want to set ahead of time before you start doing your annotating. So down here in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little setting button that you can control how you want the board to recognize the pen as well as your finger when you're marking and annotating. There are two options in terms of object recognition. The first option is the board will only recognize the pen when it's touching the board. If that's something that you want to have, then make sure you choose that first option. The second option is the board will recognize the pen as well as your hand or finger when it's touching the board. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and choose that second option. I'm going to use the second option so you can demonstrate both of them at the same time. So I'll leave that set to there. And then we'll come down here at the bottom and we'll change some of these defaults. Now the board, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is in tune enough to know whether your hand is touching the board or the pen. So we're going to set the default for the pen here to a certain color. So I'll just go ahead and select the pen option, and I want the pen to be blue and sort of that medium line style. And so now when I come up here and write, that's what I get. If I want to set the default for my finger, so whenever my finger is touching the panel, again, I'll touch that pen option. I want that to be purple and super thick. And so now when I come up here and start to use that, that's what I get with that particular option with my finger. It's very easy to change on the fly. If you want to just change that finger option to yellow and really fine point yellow here, I can go ahead and do that as well. So you can set the defaults, but you can always change it on the fly if you want to do so. In terms of erasing content, it's very easy to do. Probably the fastest way to get rid of everything at one time is just click the little panel screen here with an eraser on top of it, and you can clear everything at one time. I'll cancel that for now. If you want to do more fine-tuning erasing, there's an actual eraser button down here with two options. One is you can do fine-tune erasing. The option on the left here, if I want to select that, I can come up with my palm of my hand and I can erase just little parts of things if I need to do that, or I can use my finger to do that very same thing. If I want to sort of strike through and get rid of larger amounts of objects that I've drawn, again, I'll click that eraser and I'll choose that other option off to the right here, and then I can just take my finger here and I can strike through certain parts of that content using my finger, or again, I can use the palm of my hand. Either one of those will work just fine. So, some very basic options here in terms of marking up and annotating. Now, in terms of going back and forth between annotation mode and your regular pointer mode, in terms of if you're using a mouse, if I wanted to change to a different slide here, if I come over here and tap on slide 3, you'll notice it's not doing that because I'm in eraser mode. So what I need to do here is turn off my annotation. It'll switch that mode here, and now I can come back and I can use my finger if I choose to do so, or the pen to navigate the slides on the left, or go to any of the themes or menus that I have here. If I want to get back into that annotation mode, I would go ahead and select that option. And I'll refresh here, and I have my little menu down here at the bottom, and then I can start having fun again. So, some very basics in terms of getting started with annotating and marking up using your interactive panel here. We really encourage you to try out some of the other options that maybe we didn't cover here today. In some future videos, we'll show you how you can save this content and log into your Google Drive to access some of these individual annotations and markups that you've created. So, thank you for your time, and good luck.